Back to Sports First, number one in sports. As always, I'm your host, Sabotage. This is another edition of NFL Plus NFL Fantasy. Let's get it started with a look in the NFL. I guess we can just go ahead and look at the game, see what happened yesterday. We had that Sunday nighter right easy, as in that Ravens Browns game, which was dominated pretty much by the offense. There was that one sick play where Lamar was pretty much pushed back by three defenders, and then he ended up slinging one into the end zone, getting it to, I forget who it was. Was it to Mark Andrews? I think it was to Mark Andrews or one of the other tight ends, but I'm sure it was Mark Andrews. There was also that sick catch by Mark Andrews, that one-hander, I think it was. Baker being Baker, getting just demolished, but he did come into the game, I guess, injured, so there's that. The Rams taking another L, and this time it was to the Packers. That's their third in a row. Odell did have himself a touchdown in that game, but couldn't do too much. This game just started, the Seahawks versus Washington, the Monday night game, pretty much seen on the screen right now. Broncos get a dub against the Chargers, which most people probably thought that the Chargers would get the dub, but just didn't. Obviously, what's his name? Old boy didn't do enough. Him or his set of wide receiver. Well, Mike Williams really hasn't been playing as good as you see right here for receptions, 39 yards. Austin Eckler just being all around player as always with 12 and 6. Keenan Allen, pretty good, but I don't know. Sometimes you feel like I don't know, maybe this is how I felt last season, but this season he might be playing a little bit better. Actually, last season he had a couple of good games too, but it's all over the place with the old boy Keenan Allen. This game doesn't really matter too much about maybe. I mean, maybe if the Jets are not happy with Wilson, they'll probably get another wide receiver, but I'm sure they're going to keep Wilson. They just literally drafted him. Unless Deshaun Watson somehow ends up over there. I don't see that happening, but maybe. Who knows? It's big times. Tua getting himself another one. I think it's been like 3 in a row. It might be 4 in a row that he's got another shocker, or not shocker, just you could say upset, because the Eagles needed to win more, I guess, than the Giants. Let's see. I'm pretty sure. See what they were looking like in the NFC East. You could see they did need that win. But I mean, if Washington loses today to the Seahawks, which I honestly could see them easily winning this one. But then again, they could end up losing because Seahawks, just want to bounce back in. But as you see, their record is kind of shitty. Don't know what's going to happen in that situation, after this year's. Hearing some on the show that Pete Carroll could end up leaving for a different team like the Raiders. And old boy Rush could end up leaving for a different team too, but I don't know. I think Rush just actually signed a contract, so I don't see that happening. Bills back to their ways with old boy playing this game again. Steelers, they're just looking ugly. I mean, they've been on and off, but I don't know. I think they've lost. I'm sure they've lost a couple in a row. Yeah, see, they were like 5 and some for a while, but I thought they were going to do much better than they are doing. Pretty much not. I mean, Najee Harris pretty much been the only good or the bright spot in that team. See, they had that tie with for God's sakes, that's pretty much the Detroit Lions' only technically, if you consider a tie a win, but it's a tie. But yeah, their only other decent win was probably against the Browns, but Baker's pretty much as I've said already, Baker's pretty much been injured throughout the whole season. I mean, those aren't good wins at all against the Steelers, against the Bears, against the Broncos is probably actually the best one out of them if you really think about it. If you They've lost two to the Bengals, which they probably. I mean, actually, Bills is actually their best one, but still, that's they're only 5 and something. But let's go ahead and transfer. Let's go ahead and go to the fantasy area, which since we got a good amount of just the regular NFL out of the way. Uh, this is from lineups.com. I thought Taylor had already surpassed, or is this just the average? I guess it's just the average of yards they were getting, but that just I don't know. For the rushing average, I guess that makes sense that Henry's still up there because the amount of yards he was getting. But I don't know he was averaging 184.4, or is that all purpose yards? I'm confused. If it's all purpose, you would think it would be Austin Eckler leading that, but guessing that's all around rushing, eh? Tom Brady. I mean, these two would make sense. But I guess I never had looked at the average, to be honest. Tom Brady with the 206.9. Oh boy, Cup with 198.1. Maybe I'm confused on these stats, but let's see. They have a stat area right here. Let's see what the stat area shows us. That doesn't really do too much for us. Projections, ranking. Yeah, let's see what their ranking is looking at. Dalvin Cook. Oh, this is all. I don't know what this side does. I've never been on there. I just decided to pop it up. But let's just go ahead and go to that ESPN outlook of it. And your king of fantasy this week is Leonard Fournette with his best game of the year so far with 44.1, ladies and gentlemen. Just look at that number. That wins you games, ladies and gentlemen. That's a game winner. I tried to get a trade going for him this week, but just didn't work out because they don't really use the other running backs, and Bernard is pretty much out. Well, he's been out. I don't know, ever since that one game. Giovanni Bernard had one really good game, a 30-pointer. After getting 8 receptions, I mean 8 target, like maybe more than 8 target, 10 targets about or so, but he caught 8 of them, and he had a 30, maybe a touchdown or 2 in that game, and he had 30. He probably had a couple carries as well, but pretty big game from him. But this one from Fournette with 17 carries for 100. 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdown game for him, 7 receptions for 31 and 1 touchdown, 8 targets. Oh my gosh. Those are big numbers. Man, if I would have just gotten him this week, I would. I've been on a slump ever since King Henry. Derrick Henry's left. My team has just been left digging, man. Yeah, just not in a great spot myself, but hey, if I had Derrick Henry, it'd be a different story, I tell you what. Cordell Patterson made a comeback, as y'all see. He's in that top area, right easy. Let's see what his numbers are looking like. 16 carries for 108. Ooh, 2 receptions for 27 yards. I thought he had more than that, but because I watched. As most of y'all do, we watch Red Zone. Well, I watch Red Zone. Then I also did the recap with watching the highlights all over again. But Cordell Patterson, well, actually, we got to enjoy some of the games on Thursday because Thanksgiving. You know, with pretty much the morning, and just pretty much the 3 games in one day. You know, you actually get to enjoy the games. Not the first game wasn't really the greatest, the Bears versus Detroit, but the other 2 are pretty decent. The Cowboys versus the Raiders was actually pretty good. I think the Raiders got that one. The Raiders did win that run. I mean, yeah, that one kind of messed me up in fantasy because Dalton Schultz pretty much didn't really have too much, and then he got a touchdown that was taken back, and then it seemed like they were covered. The defense was covering him pretty well, but then he ended up going for one. Yeah, wasn't too happy about that, but hey, what you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? Another player that I was actually at times I wanted to get him, but I saw that he really wasn't doing too much. But then out of nowhere, just him and Elijah Mitchell have popped off out of nowhere, and they're doing really well. As in rookie wide receivers Jalen Waddle and Elijah Mitchell for the Jets. Um, they've just been all I don't know these new style of like Tyreek Hill style of wide receivers, where they just kind of almost use all around, similar to I guess I don't know if you could say they're similar to Cordell Patterson. Patterson. Patterson's more of I feel like he's a bigger sized wide receiver than both of those guys. Even though Patterson's running back, they've just been using him more as I guess you can say a weapon. Yeah, let's go ahead and say that. Kendrick Bourne, surprisingly, now he's getting him numbered. Look at that, ain't that fancy? He got 23. I think he did have a touch. I thought he had a touchdown in this game, but these numbers don't change. I mean, did he have a touchdown or is it? Yep, I think that's two right there. Let me see. Look at I'm not seeing the stat number area, but I'm sure he had a touchdown, or because I was watching the show and they were showing that he was pointing at a player saying deuces, and he didn't get a flag for it or whatever. But Mac Jones being Mac Jones still, he's getting, I guess you could say, decent numbers. That's crazy. The Miami Dolphins getting, they're in that like top 10 area. I think I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna. Well, I've pretty much gotten the majority of things out of the way game wise and everything. I could have actually gotten Elijah Mitchell too, but I did not. Joe Mixon came out and surprised us with a little here and there.